Today on Hey, We're Talking about some finger-licking good Christmas traditions.
And we're talking about hanging your toe out the window?
Or something like that. Today on Hey, We're Talking. Hey everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking. Listen to that music. Wow. Are you copying whatever I say?
Yeah, the people on the podcast can't see me, but yeah,
Right.
I'm just kind of copying everything you say just for the
good.
heck of it.
Good. So, Scotty D here, and then we got Bobby P.
Bob is fine. Yeah. Bobby P just sounds weird, man. It just doesn't sound
really
good.
feel like it would catch on if you let it. Do a little Bobby P action.
There's only two people in the world that called me Bobby. And one was my mom, and she'll call me Bobby, and I don't think anything of it. And just an old friend that I don't really talk to anymore, but he was a dear friend for a long time. He called me Bobby, and I was fine with it. Anybody else, it's just odd.
So when I call you Bobby, you don't like it?
Nope.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, because you're going to keep doing it now.
No, I won't. Unlike you, Bob, I'm not going to push it and make you feel terrible.
I'll just start calling you by your maiden name. I'll just start calling you by your middle name.
Oh, yeah, keep doing that. I like it. Anyway.
Sounds good.
All right. So here we are back again. No Derek. We haven't said why he's not here, but it's just the way it worked out, just scheduling and stuff. It's not like he's been fired from the show. Especially because, man, dude, all the people that he's got subscribed. It's going to be interesting to see after he gives away the pipe, how many people stick around.
And how many people unsubscribe. It can happen. But you know what? If we get the reality is that only 10% of people are going to watch your stuff and stick around. If that's the case, so be it. Welcome to the show.
It's not a big deal. We got a really big influx of new listeners, new viewers through YouTube because of Derek's giveaway for his channel. Because if you don't know, if you haven't listened before, Derek is like a superstar on YouTube. Yep. Like he's big time. I think he's up over the 2000s, which is not on YouTube. That's not big.
That's not Casey Neistat numbers,
right? But in the world in which we can rub elbows with people from the pipe world and stuff like that, besides a couple of people, he's up there. He's pretty good. That's a good number of people, over 2,000 people that decided that this guy who smokes a pipe and sits in his backyard and talks, right. There's like 2,000 people who are like, "Hey, I'm going to subscribe to this guy." Well,
I mean, considering the fact that what he does, exactly what you just said, I mean, that's a pretty good market right there. I mean, 2,000 subscribers, that's a lot of people for the people he's trying to reach.
For a very niche, when you think about it, like pipe smokers. I mean, it's very successful. There's some people that are like the super duper stars, but Derek he's up there, man.
He'll be there. Just keep going, Derek.
Do you think so?
Keep plugging away.
I'm looking forward to that when he hits like Dagner type numbers. Although I haven't watched a Dagner video in millennia. It's been forever.
I haven't watched really the only thing I'm watching on YouTube right now is different music stuff, drum tutorials, some vloggers and creators and stuff like that, and that's really about it. So my market is very narrow at this point too, because my job changed and my life changed, and I don't have as much time to watch YouTube as I did in the past. So,
and I will say this, excuse me, that was very unprofessional for me to clear
my throat.
Was. I had the mic muted just so I could do it, and then I needed to say something because you stopped. So, but on YouTube, I'll say this: a lot of the people that I really used to watch like regularly everybody stopped doing things regularly because of all the stuff that went down on YouTube with Adpocalypse. Now they've had now we're on Adpocalypse 3 or 4, where people just come up with reasons to get mad about stuff that people put out there, and everybody's pulling their ads from YouTube.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is. That's something going on with YouTube. They got to get it figured out, because they're going to lose a lot of viewers, a lot of great content. There's so many people out there putting out amazing content, and if they don't kind of sit down and talk about it and figure it out, they're going to struggle as well. I mean, some people that I've talked to recently, they've basically went to upload a video and it was just sitting there as a draft, and it was demonetized before it was even posted. And it's like, wait a minute, why did you just demonetize this? Or why did you say this is, extreme material when it's not, So it's been very interesting, and YouTube's going to have to figure it out.
I think really, in my heart of hearts, what I really believe is that, I mean, it's going to take a lot, but I think there's probably going to come something that's going to come along, and YouTube won't be as huge as it used to be. But again, most of the issue that we're talking about here is because we live in a world now where everyone is perpetually offended by everything. So advertisers are like, okay, I don't want to be on offensive I don't want any offensive content before or after an ad that we play, which is understandable for a business. You don't want that kind of stuff,
right.
But at the same time, YouTube is YouTube because it was like a place to just be free and be yourself. And yeah, they're going to have to figure it out, though.
Yeah, eventually.
The creators are the reason that YouTube exists.
Yep, and they'll have to figure it out, because otherwise people are going to start looking for other platforms. Vimeo is apparently another platform that some people have jumped over to. And there's a bunch of them out there that people are really looking into. So
Twitch is the one where a lot of these big people are starting to go over to, because there's a lot of potential. It's basically for gamers, but a lot of people are starting to jump over there because they can just kind of do live streams and do whatever they want. I thought about trying to figure out how to do it with our podcast, because it'd be a good format, because people can interact with you during the podcast and stuff like that. So it's a possibility, but we'd have to be live. Ooh.
Yeah, and we probably got to pay a lot for it as well.
No, you don't. Twitch? No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway.
All right. Look into it.
So we are, as we mentioned in the last show, getting closer and closer to Christmas. And so we're going to keep in the Christmas spirit. We're going to keep talking about some different stuff. And today, I believe we're going to talk about different Christmas type stuff that's going on all over the world compared to us. You know?
So like different Christmas traditions everywhere else. Because typically, we all do it the same here in the United States, and it's pretty much okay. Christmas Eve, you have your family gatherings, or on Christmas Day, and you have your traditional Christmas traditions. It's just you put up your tree sometime after Thanksgiving and all your lights, and a lot of people have ham and whatever meals on Christmas Eve just because they just had turkey for Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of traditions, but in other countries they do it different ways. And that's kind of what we want to jump into today, to enlighten you guys on what they do in other countries. And I think some of it will get kind of a giggle out of too. So
yeah. So I'm just going to start with one right off the top. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this is in India, okay? And in India, there's not as much of a Christian population, and technically Christmas is a Christian holiday, although it's very, it's mass marketed now. It's very different than it used to be. But because of that, they have like 25 million people in India. So, I mean, there's a ton of people. So 2.3% of 25 million is still a lot of people. But they don't have fir trees or pine trees to decorate. So what they do is they do banana trees and mango trees instead.
Really?
So that means on Christmas, and they light up these banana trees and mango trees, and they do like a midnight mass kind of a thing. But instead of your traditional Christmas tree, you decorate a banana tree or a mango tree. How do you like that?
Do you get to eat it afterwards?
It doesn't say that. It says that they use the leaves of those trees to decorate their houses, though. So instead of like pine cones or whatever, wreath.
Yeah.
They use that. And it's all the same, it's got, I see a picture here. They've got like bells and stuff and little stars and bulbs and different things, but it's on a banana or a mango tree. It's on and they do it in the streets and all sorts of stuff. That's
an interesting one. So here, I've got one for you.
Okay.
In the Czech Republic or Slovakia, sorry about that.
That's okay.
People toss their shoes to get hitched. Well, what does that mean? So if you don't want to celebrate another Christmas single, then try this. Stand with your back to the door and throw your shoe over your shoulder. And this has to happen on Christmas Day.
Wow.
If the shoe lands with the toe pointing towards the door, congratulations, you're going to get married. There's no clue how long before that'll actually happen, but, that's just one of those oddball traditions where, you throw your shoe over, and if it happens if you're pointing at the door, you're going to get married. It's the same thing at a wedding, where they go throw
toss the bouquet,
and the woman that gets it, will wind up getting married. It's the same kind of thing like that, but this is actually on Christmas Day, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, that whole the bouquet tossing, not such a big deal, but when they do this is what I've noticed recently when you go to the weddings, is it depends what kind of wedding you're going to also. But if you notice this thing with the women getting the garter off the women and just, they make it really somewhat uncomfortable. The guy gets down there and just like really goes up the dress and gets the garter off, and they make such a big deal out of it, and they toss it, and I'm just like, oh wow, man, I'm glad we didn't do that. I mean,
we did that at our wedding, and it was awkward doing that in a crowd of people. It was awkward.
And they're all like, woo!
Yeah!
And you're just like, dude, this is my wife, man. Shut up.
Right. Yeah. And who wants this thing that's been wrapped around my wife's leg?
That's the sick part, is there's probably
besides me,
Yeah. All right, so here's one I can get on board with. You ready for this? This is in Japan. Kentucky Fried Christmas. No, seriously. Instead of Christmas turkey being a must on Christmas, the Japanese go to the Colonel Sanders. It was a marketing campaign 4 decades ago, and KFC's been associated with Christmas in the minds of Japanese for generations. It's a tradition passed on from parent to child in spite of its commercialized beginnings. So they've got about more than 240,000 barrels of chicken will be sold on Christmas. 5 to 10 times its normal monthly sales in Japan.
So, yeah, that's probably where they make their big money.
Just during the Christmas in Japan.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it though. No. I do like some chicken, KFC, Popeyes, whatever. But for Christmas, that'd be a little weird.
I have not been able to have. Not that I need it, but I have not been able to have Kentucky Fried Chicken in a while because when we moved down here, we got it one time, or we went to go get it, and I wanted to get. You remember when they came out with like the Nashville Hot or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, Cheryl went to go get some, and the Kentucky Fried Chicken by us was just like a complete disaster. And then they didn't get it right. It wasn't even the right thing she ordered, and so Cheryl, like, if you hit her just the right way, you'll be banned for life. So she's
I tried doing that when I was hanging at your house, but for some reason I didn't get banned for life.
No, you have to. It has to be, and it's always something very trivial. It's not a life altering thing. It's like you just hit her at the right moment, and then all of a sudden it's done.
I just thought of something.
What?
On our last show, we were talking about why she hasn't talked to you so much. Maybe that's what
I'm
happened.
On the list.
Yeah, maybe she has shunned you from now on.
Dude, if she hasn't dumped me yet, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know.
I mean, it could. You never know. What are you going to do? Anyway.
So let's stick with Japan again for a second. So another oddball thing that they do in Japan is they have Christmas cakes.
That's not too crazy.
That's weird, man. So think about like a birthday cake or whatever, but they actually do it on Christmas Eve. So they eat that on Christmas Eve, and then they have their KFC on Christmas Day.
So it's cakes and KFC on Christmas Day in Japan.
Yeah.
A little strange. A little strange.
And any of the cakes that are not sold on Christmas Day, any of the unwanted ones,
yeah,
they wind up pitching because nobody will buy them. So
wow.
that's part of the little thing as well, is any of the unwanted cakes stay unwanted.
Okay. All right.
That's interesting.
Let's take a quick break and come back. I don't know if these are interesting or not. When we started reading through them, I was like, oh, this is good. But we'll see. There might be some more interesting ones on the back half here. We'll see. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I think we're going to talk about Finland and Venezuela to start it off. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll be right back. Fast, simple, and affordable. That's what registering your domain name with GoDaddy will be. Fast, simple, affordable. And if you listen to this show, Hey, We're Talking, you know you're getting a discount, 30% off, if you go to trygodaddy.com/HWT. Again, 30% off. All you have to do is go to trygodaddy.com/HWT for 30% off your domain name and other business services provided by GoDaddy. And we are back. Good. That was a good one. You almost did it right with me because you knew what I was going to do.
Oh, yeah. I kind of had an idea, so it was worth a shot.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So those of you that are on the podcast, I was just, again, mouthing exactly what he said so precisely. It was unbelievable. Just one of those things today.
That's bad when you yawn on your own podcast.
Maybe you think our podcast is that boring. Or you're just sick of hearing my voice.
No, I just had to yawn. All right.
Okay.
So we've been talking about different Christmas traditions from around the world. And a couple of them are interesting.
Yeah.
Here's one. When I first started reading it, I was like, what? But now it makes a little bit of sense. So in Finland, on Christmas Eve, a lot of families go visit the graves of their ancestors and relatives, and they light candles in memory of the deceased. Even those people that don't have people at graves nearby will visit cemeteries and place candles in honor of family members buried elsewhere. Hence, on Christmas Eve, cemeteries would be lit up with candles, presenting a beautiful sight.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a person. I don't go to gravestones.
No,
I don't visit graves.
I don't even want to be buried because just the idea that someone would come visit my grave, not that they would, but just the idea that somebody would, it's like, oh, dude, that's depressing. Don't do that.
Yeah, instead they just have your ashes in an urn on their thing, and every time they look
ashes
at
somewhere, don't keep them. Good grief. Hey, wait a minute. I got to tell you this too. By the way, not only do they do that at the graves, they'll also leave food on the tables. Like for if they eat where they're eating at a table or something. So they'll leave food on the table and they'll leave their beds to sleep on the floor to give the dead a nice meal and a place to rest.
Okay, that just got weird. I was okay with the candle thing, and now that just got a little strange.
It did.
Well, in the capital of Venezuela, before young children go to bed on Christmas Eve, they tie one... Oh, I just clicked it. Now I can't read it.
The thing that I was looking forward to is because we're both looking at the same stuff, but the thing that's funny is I was getting ready for Bob to say the capital city of Venezuela, Caracas.
Yeah, and he just skipped it.
Yeah, because you were like, I don't know how to say that word, so you skipped it.
It looked like carcass to me, so
Caracas.
Caracas. Yeah. So I just let it be. Okay, let's start over. So the capital city of Caracas, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Did I get it right that time?
Yeah, you did. You nailed it.
Okay. Before young children go to bed on Christmas Eve, they tie one end of a string to their big toe.
Oh.
Leaving the other end outside their bedroom window.
No!
Why would you do that?
No!
They get frostbite and stuff. Does it get that cold there?
I don't know. I think that's funny that's what you think about. I don't think it gets that cold, but the fact that you think of that. I'm thinking of like somebody coming by and grabbing it and like yanking on it.
I'm just thinking about, okay, what would happen if I left a string in my toe outside my window on Christmas Eve? What would happen?
I don't
My
know.
toe would be black in the morning, and it would be
Well, your
falling
toe's
off.
not out. The string attached to your toe is out the window, not your toe. How could you sleep with your toe out the window, Bob?
Oh, that's true, I guess.
It's just a string, but the people could yank on the string. That's what would bother me.
That'd still be weird. Anyways, the fun part of the Christmas celebration is on the day of the early morning mass.
Yeah?
Streets were closed off to cars until 8 a.m. for people to roller skate to service.
See, now that's kind of fun.
Wait, they roller skate to basically their
church.
early morning mass.
Yeah, to go to church. That's kind of fun.
They proceed to tug on any of the strings they see hanging out as they're roller skating.
They do?
Yep.
Oh, gosh, that is my nightmare.
So imagine this. Imagine you're sleeping and your strings hanging out the window, and then all of a sudden, bink, your toe gets pulled, and then you're like, oh, I got to wake up. I got to put my roller skates on, go tug other people's toes until I get to church.
Dude, and in those South American countries, there's a lot of I just keep thinking of, because I've been watching Narcos and in Colombia and stuff, man. Just imagine what they might do to your toe. Rip it off, teach you a
cut
lesson.
It off with a cigar cutter.
Yeah.
That'd be
This
weird.
is terrifying. So the thing that I'm thinking of, though, is it's a holiday. So a lot of people on holidays drink. So you drink too much. You tie that thing to your toe and throw it out the window. You're trying to sleep one off. Some person comes by and yanks on that thing. It's not a good way to wake up.
Well, but if you do wake up from it, you got to put your roller skates on and skate to church.
Get to church. I was going to
other
say,
people's toes.
It would teach you to drink responsibly, not be an idiot.
That's true.
Don't drink too much.
Are there drinking problems in Venezuela?
There are drinking problems everywhere.
Oh, okay.
People have had drinking problems for as long as the world has been in existence.
That's true.
Whoever discovered the first drink had probably a little bit of trouble. All right. So this one, just weird. This is weird. It's in Sweden. In 1966, they did a 13-meter tall goat made of straw in the town square. Yeah, a goat made out of straw. Okay, so it's almost like hay bales. Okay, in the town square. At the stroke of midnight on Christmas Eve, the goat went up in flames. So they burned the goat, but the town never stopped building it year after year. So someone set it on fire, or it caught on fire. And then vandals have never stopped trying to burn the goat down since then. By 2011, the goat has already been burned down 25 times. So this is like a thing. It's up, but they probably try to stop people from setting it on fire. And it's happened 25 times since 1966 that someone has been able to burn it to the ground.
Well, why wouldn't they just have security on guard?
I don't know. It says... bookmakers actually do odds and take bets on this thing. So just to be clear, though, the town doesn't want the goat to be burned down. In fact, in 2001, an American tourist served time in jail and was fined for successfully doing so.
Wow.
So they don't want you to burn it down, but it's like a thing now. It's like, hey, can I burn the goat down at it's Gavle, so I would call it gavel in Sweden.
Huh.
There you go.
That's interesting. See, if they did have security on duty, you know what I would do?
What?
I'd have flaming arrows.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd just be off in the wilderness and just light an arrow and let it go.
You could. This would be kind of a fun idea for like an Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 11 kind of a heist to set the goat on fire, right?
I've never seen those movies.
Oh, Bob, son of a.
I've been wanting to, but I just haven't got around to it. So this one, again, this is another strange one coming out of Ukraine. Instead of glittering ornaments and tinsel, Ukrainian Christmas trees are covered with artificial spiders and cobwebs. Why? The eccentric taste in spiders, according to old local folklore, there was a poor woman who could not afford to decorate their Christmas tree. But the next morning, her children woke up to see the tree covered with webs, and when the first light of Christmas morning touched the web, the web threads, they turned into gold and silver, and the family was never left for wanting again. So it's old, like an old urban legend. So hence it is believed that seeing a spider web on Christmas morning brings luck.
That is stupid.
That's a weird one. That's just one of those old folklores, urban legend that just seems strange.
Yeah. All right, so we got two more, because I think three technically. I think the last one's dumb, but we can still do it if you want. Here's one, again, from Finland. Most Finnish families, they've got their own sauna because it's believed that the sauna elves live there to protect it and make sure people behave themselves. So on every Christmas Eve, people head to their sauna, strip to their toes, and enjoy a nice good soak naked. After sunset, though, the place is for the spirits and dead ancestors. Again, with the dead people.
Yeah, what's the affiliation with dead people on Christmas? I mean, that's the birth of Christ.
There's a lot of cultures that believe in that stuff. It's just kind of passed down. Not America. We're not like that very much. I mean, there's people that do it, but yeah. So Finland, that's two kind of weird ones, it seems like.
That is. Well, here's another weird one out of the Philippines. Christmas is huge in the Philippines since 80% of the population are Christians. Celebrations last all the way to January.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Nice 5-day celebration. Children will leave their brightly polished shoes and freshly washed socks on the windowsills for the three kings to give gifts.
That's
in
cool.
which when they pass through the towns at night. So instead of putting a string out the window, they're actually putting their clean socks. The Feast of the Three Kings marks the end of the Christmas celebration. So, I mean, it's weird, but it's cool too at the same time. You know, just basically their stockings and actual stockings hang out the window, and people come by and fill those stockings, you know, throughout the Christmas celebration. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah. That one's actually pretty cool. I like that one.
And weird.
It's weird and cool. All right. Yeah. So we head over to the UK for this one. Christmas in the UK is probably somewhat similar to ours, but here's some things. They have some traditions that we don't have, and one of those is Christmas pudding. It's more about how it's made. Every member of the family, especially the kids, they stir the mix clockwise while making a wish. Earlier traditions included putting a coin in the mix, which brings wealth to whoever finds it in their serving. Other additions include a ring for luck in marriage and a thimble for good luck in life. So they stuff stuff into their Christmas pudding, cook it all up, and whoever gets the little gift, it's got a little thing attached to it. What do you think about that one?
That's pretty good. It has food, and I like food. And pudding, I haven't had pudding in a long time, but pudding's good.
Well, the picture that they have is actually, it's almost like a cake. It's like got pudding in it, I think, or pudding on top. I don't know.
I'll take a cake with pudding inside or on top.
Yeah, you will. Are you going to do? Are you going to do this one about Santa?
No, I think it was stupid.
It's dumb, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like Santa has a zip code.
Yeah. So here, I'll just do it real quick. We'll see what happens. Basically the bottom line is Santa's zip code is H0H0H0.
Yeah.
And it's like says ho ho ho.
It's like ho oh ho.
No, it's like ho,
I know.
But that's a zero. That's a zero.
So it's like H0H0H0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. In Canada, codes are alphanumeric. That's why. Oh.
So he's in the North Pole, so... Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
This is dumb.
I think somebody just threw that on this list for the heck of it.
Plus, if your kids are listening, spoiler alert.
No, don't.
Oh, I did that before. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Santa,
come on.
Santa loves the letters. Keep sending the letters. And the zip code, let me make sure. Do we have his address on here, too? What's his address, Bob?
It doesn't say
it's the North Pole, right? You send it to the North Pole. Say Santa... or to Santa's workshop or the North Pole. Any of those will get you there. Just make sure that you put on the zip code H0H0H0. So spell out ho, 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 but use zeros instead of O's. There you go. That's Santa's address, kids. So send your letters and everything that you'd like from Santa to that address, and you'll get it.
And don't forget, you parents, go to santatracker.google.com, and right around Christmas time, you can track where Santa is in the world. Show that to your kids, and they'll get a kick out of it.
They'll know when they have to go to bed because he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake, just so you know.
Well, he knows if you've been bad or good.
So be good, for goodness sake.
Now all of a sudden that Bruce Springsteen version just popped into my head, and I just got angry.
Like that?
So yeah, I hate that. So yeah, go search Santa.
Hey, try one of these new traditions this Christmas and tell us how it goes.
You know what? We're doing something a little different.
Are you?
Yeah, we're, instead of having a big Christmas meal. Whoa, my computer just started making Santa noises because I'm on that Santa tracker.
Okay, so tell us what you're going to do.
We're probably going to get some pizzas.
I like it. That's a good tradition.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a tradition.
But are you going to get Chicago style pizzas though?
I don't know. Dude, whatever anybody wants.
Lou Malnati's.
No, it'd be Giordano's if it was any of them, but I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll probably get a couple pizzas and just hang out and celebrate that way, just because nobody really wants to. I host everything in my house because it's the biggest, and nobody else wants to really, throw in on food and all that stuff now because we did really, really big for Thanksgiving. So it's like, let's keep it simple and easy.
So, Bob, if you want to think of a gift to send me, you can send me a Lou Malnati's pizza. Or a Giordano's.
I think I actually can. What about a Portillo's beef sandwich?
Oh, my gosh, it'll turn into Gaga on the way here.
Well, it just wouldn't be dipped. That's all.
I don't want it dipped. I like them how they were, without dip.
Yeah, I like them dipped, so they're nice and soggy. I just had a beef sandwich the other day.
I hate soggy bread. All right, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. We will be talking at you guys again. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, Derek will be back. I'm kidding. He should be back in the next, probably the following week during Christmas, we're hoping.
Yeah, he should be back.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.